Well, welcome to the Customer Zone, and you've come into my house as a typical customer in the Severn Trent region, one of the 8 million that we serve. I'm Sarah Bentley, I'm our Chief Customer Officer, so it's probably appropriate that I'm hosting this zone. I look after our retail business, which is the main interface with our customers, and then I look also after our water and waste distribution networks, which you're going to see in a little bit. So here we really want to put you in the shoes of our customers so that you can get a sense of what it feels like to be our customers and why this plan is really important to you. And as you heard right from the beginning, Liv talked about all of the listening that we did. And we've gone through thousands and millions of contacts. We've really engaged with customers. You've seen the workshops. We've been into our customers' houses to really listen and understand what they want. Now, the first thing that customers always tell us is that they want bills to be as low as possible. And you'll hear a little bit about that in our lounge. They also want us to support customers who are struggling to pay with those bills. So we'll talk about that too. What they get out of their tap and what happens when they flush the loo is really important, and you're going to hear about that in some other zones. And what we're doing for the community and society, you've just heard about. But there are also some additional things that they told us this year. So we talked about low pressure, and while the regulatory measure we've been brilliant at, those moments where it takes a little bit too long to fill the kettle, or you've just got a dribble coming out of the shower, are really frustrating our customers. And Steph's going to talk about that in our bathroom. They also want us to expand the offering that we give to customers who've got different service needs. And you'll hear about those from Leah in our kitchen. And then they want to feel good. So that whole customer experience, what does it feel to be a customer of Severn Trent? And we've talked about customer experience a lot in this AMP, with both the UK CSI measure, which is a broad cross-sector measure that we do really well at, and then also SIM, which is an industry measure, which has been more challenging for us. All that's changing, and CMEX and DMEX are the new two measures that you're going to hear about in my study. So without further ado, I'm going to leave the ducks. That could be the most career-limiting moment because our chairman and our chief exec are ducks right at the moment, listening to Steph in the bathroom. So hopefully you'll stop being able to hear about my voice, and the lovely TVers can hear my voice.
Hello, welcome to my bathroom. Sorry it's a little bit messy, I'll explain why in a minute. So I'm Steph Corley, I'm the head of water networks here at Severn Trent. So I look after our technicians and our repair and maintenance gangs who go out and they inspect the network and they fix the network. But while I'm not pushing water through pipes when I'm at work, I'm also a mum. I've got 3 kids at home. Felicity, who's 4, Amelia, who's 2, and Oscar, who's nearly 1. So water is pretty important to us, particularly in the bathroom. So Amelia and Oscar still don't like to sleep at night. So I can't function at work during the day unless I've had a pretty good shower in the morning. So if I don't get pressure out of my shower, I'm not a happy lady. Of an evening, if we don't get the kids in the bath, then we really struggle to tackle to get all 3 of them to go to bed. So it's super, super important. So are Severn Trent good at managing water pressure? Do the regulators think we're good at it? Do our customers think we're good at it? We are going to spend the next few minutes talking about what our customers tell us and how we're going to improve it. So you've already heard from Sarah that as part of PR19, we've asked more customers than ever what it is they think. And we've even trawled social network to see what people say to their friends and family. And people are telling us that there's loads and loads to be proud of, and that's great, and we should congratulate ourselves for that. But actually, poor pressure is a really big issue, and that's understandable, right? Because you get up in the morning, and you turn on your tap, and you just get a dribble. So you can't go to work feeling clean or revived, you can't flush your toilet, you can't load your dishwasher or put your washing machine on, all the things you want to do in the morning. You might not even be able to get enough water to have a cup of tea, which is pretty dire. So we need to think slightly differently about it. And how does that make our customers feel? So one, we've already said that they feel frustrated, they feel a little bit let down. They probably feel like they're not getting good value for money. They'll probably question a little bit of their trust in us. And they'll also be uncertain as to what's going to happen next. So are they coming home to water? How long are they going to be off for? You're obviously all customers of water as well, so if you've not experienced pressure issues, you probably know somebody who has. So it's gold dust this. Our customers have actually told us pressure is a problem for us and we can do something about it for them. So we get between 14,000 and 19,000 calls a year about poor pressure. Now we're doing lots of things to try and stop those calls coming in, so putting more information on our website and using web chat, but there's definitely an underlying problem with pressure. And the reason we haven't really focused on it until now is that Ofwat have been saying that we're in the green when it comes to performance. We've got a different drive now. It's our customers that are telling us we need to do something about it. So if we break down the 19,000 contacts into different sections. So 50% of our 19,000 contacts are from customers who are experiencing a supply interruption or an ongoing operational problem. So it won't be a pressure problem forever, but it is obviously important to them at that point. So the things that we're doing to improve that, obviously lots of work to improve our supply interruptions, not turning off the water unless we absolutely need to, but where we do have to turn off the water in order to fix the problem, contacting our customers in advance to let them know that we're doing that. So they can then plan their lives around that. Might be that they need to go to their gran's to have their tea, it might be that they want to have a shower at the gym on the way home because they know that they're not going to have great water pressure. The other thing we can do is tell them what to expect after we've turned the water off. So we know that they might have poor pressure for a while, just informing them, run the tap for 20 minutes, this is what to look out for. So that's half of the contacts that we get. A massive 40% of the contacts that we get are from customers who experience pressure problems due to a private internal issue. So it might be that their internal pipes are blocked. It might be that they have a boiler that isn't quite powerful enough to operate their super duper shower in the bathroom. So they turn on their tap, they call us because we're their water company. We need to make sure that we're giving them enough information to help them deal with that problem themselves, whether that be on our website or through the front end contact centre. And then we've got 10% of contacts. These are the genuine breaches of pressure supply issues, service issues, sorry. And we put these on a register. And these could be because there's high demand in an area, which is causing poor pressure. It could be that the pipes locally aren't big enough. It could be elevation. So you've got a new housing estate at the top of a hill and we're just not getting the pressure at the top of the hill that we need to. These are tricky, right? These aren't quite as easy as the other 90%. These are genuine issues and we need to do something differently about those. So we have got some tip-top measures that we're going to introduce as part of PR19 to improve these. So let me tell you what those measures are. And it's not just one, but it's 2 ODI measures. So the first one is around contacts. So obviously, we don't want our customers to have to call us at all, but when they do, isn't it great if we can resolve their problem at first point of contact? So the good news is that for pressure issues, we resolve 90% at the first point of contact, which is really good. But there's still 10% of customers who have to call us more than once, and that might be more than twice as well. So it could be a pretty horrible experience for our customers. So I'm delighted to say that we're going to go after 95% resolved first time. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do as much work as we can around our supply interruptions and proactively telling our customers, as I've mentioned before. And if you haven't been to the water section, you'll hear a little bit about that later on. And we are also going to give as much information as we can about those internal private issues. So educating our customers as much as possible so that they know what to do to help themselves. So that will help with the 90%. But we've talked about this 10% and how tricky that is. So we've got a second measure. And this is how we capture customers on our poor pressure register. So our previous register, we used properties as our measure. So if one property had poor pressure for 5 days, we counted that on our register as 1. If one property had poor pressure for a whole year, we counted that as 1, which is totally crazy because we've got 2 customers with 2 totally different experiences. The new measure, you can probably guess, is around days. So your one customer who's off for 5 days counts as 5 days on our register. The customer who's off for a year counts as 365 days on our register. So this is brilliant because it means that we can focus our attentions on the right customers who have got the poorest experience with us to make sure that we're doing the right things. And it focuses our people as well on making sure that we're prioritising those customers. So what are we expecting to reduce by? So we're going after a whopping 15% improvement on those days that are logged on that register. So that's 3,000 days or 8 years, which sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So we're really excited about this because we think that this is something that we can really go after. So we know that poor pressure is a problem for our customers. We know that we've not really tackled it before for all of the right reasons. We're really excited that we've got 2 new ODI bespoke measures on pressure. We're excited that it's something that our customers have asked us to focus on. We're really going to go for it. And who knows, it might be like the floodings that we went after in AMP6. We've never gone for it before. We could be amazing. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've learned something about pressure.
So I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk to you about affordability. So first and foremost, it's really about affordability for all. So this is about keeping bills as low as possible for all our customers. And it's something that we've been very proud of at Severn Trent, to boldly be able to say that we've got the lowest bills in the land. And this continues as we go into AMP7 with a 5.4% reduction in our bills down to £327. As I mentioned right at the offset, it's the number one thing customers always say, keep bills low. So it's great to be able to go out with that headline measure. And it's really important to the regulator too. So as they judge our plans, that'll be a big tick in the box. Now, as Liv mentioned, the bills for our Huffer and Dovedwy customers are going up slightly, but customers massively support the investment that's needed and been long overdue in some of those infrastructure projects. And actually, if you look at the small increase, it's still keeping bills at £299, which is £118 cheaper than if you lived in other parts of Wales. Not that you'd want to, Wrexham is lovely. So for both of our customer groups, in England and Wales, we've still got the lowest bills in the land and are really looking to make sure that we continue to deliver great service that's affordable for all. But even at these prices, which may seem reasonable to you or I, we've still got a lot of customers who are struggling to pay. So in this AMP, we've got one of the boldest schemes, the largest schemes in England, to provide support for people through our social tariff, our Big Difference scheme, where we provide discounts off the bills. What's brilliant about all the customer engagement we've done is that we've got even more support from our customers to go bolder and bigger as we move into AMP7. So moving their contribution from £3 a year up to £8 a year, and looking at how we apply the scheme to different customer groups, we've now been able to spread this out and triple the size of our Big Difference scheme so that we can really start to support the 11% of customers who are struggling financially in our region. So that's really exciting, and we've started it, but you can do the maths. Being able to triple the size of our scheme still doesn't get us to the 11%. So we looked at other different options of how we can support customers. So we've got flexibility now in our payment plans, so we're putting those into place so that we're ready for AMP7, so that if you think about spreading the payments over the course of the year, if you're self-employed or in the gig economy, we can help spread those payments so that they don't either come up front in lumps or monthly. We can provide some payment flexibility and payment holidays as long as you continue to pay. But we've also introduced our payment matching scheme. And this is where when customers have got into debt, we hear a lot in the news about just about managing the jams, who are really struggling to kind of make everything work together. So if you've got into debt, what you want is a way to be helped out of debt. So when they pay money in, we match it. The economics of it are brilliant. It's much better for me to encourage people to talk to us about debt and to match their scheme, get them back out of debt, get them onto a good full payment plan, rather than watch the debt accumulate, put them in a debt journey and end up where they can't pay. So while we've talked a lot about at investor meetings about the very proactive analytical approach we have to people who won't pay, for our customers who can't pay, we're really expanding the size of the offering. So I just want to play a little video from Sonia, who's part of the team that's working on payment matching. No. There you go.
So currently we're helping 35,000 customers who are struggling across our region, but what we aim to do is triple that number and work with more organisations such as food banks, housing associations and citizens advice bureaus. What we want to do as a business is to reach out to all those customers and help everyone, so we're not missing people that really need our help. We will be introducing a payment matching scheme This is a scheme where we'll match customers' payments. So customers will pay a little bit and then we'll match it. If they're successful in making those payments, they'll pay a little bit more and then we'll pay a little bit more. Our team are really excited about introducing these schemes. We go out there on a daily basis, we talk to the customers every day and we hear those difficult conversations. So for us to be able to expand these schemes, we'll be able to reach out to more customers and to help people out there and overall the business as well.
I just love the passion of Sonia, and if you get a chance to spend time with our care and assistance team, it oozes compassion and oozes support. Very rarely when people are in financial difficulty is it just about their finances. There's normally a range of other challenges that they're facing. So the dedicated care and assistance team that we've set up during the course of this AMP are connected to a whole load of partner charities like Mind, Samaritans, and a range of others, including Help the Aged, to really help signpost and support the holistic needs of the customer, not just through the financial aspects that they're facing with. And you see that passion. And I've been out with our customers on a Big Difference scheme or through payment matching. It's heartbreaking to hear some of the stories, but to know that we're making a difference is just so tangible in terms of the impact it has on their lives. But it's also a massive tick in the box for the regulator who wants to see that we're doing more to support our vulnerable customers. And also it's good economically because it means that I'm not chasing debt that is uncollectible. So there's a little bit about affordability and how we're doing about managing bills, but I'm now going to send you through to the kitchen so that you can hear all about our service offering.
So Sarah's already mentioned the huge amount of research we've done in trying to understand what our customers' needs are. And one of the things that's come out through that is the diverse reasons why a customer might consider themselves as service vulnerable. So by service vulnerable, we mean that they need some additional support, so something a little bit more than just the norm. So for example, if I was partially sighted, obviously I would struggle to read bills and correspondence that Severn Trent send me. And normally, I guess I would pick up the phone, speak to somebody in the call centre and get them to give me a verbal explanation. Through our dedicated care and assistance team, which I know Sarah's already mentioned to you, what that team does is work with customers to understand what level of support they need and make sure that they are then registered on our priority services register, so we know at all times what that support looks like and how we can then continue to provide that. So if I'm partially sighted, that would mean that I would have that flag, and therefore any correspondence that Severn Trent send me would always be in large print. So around my kitchen, we've got a few clues as to other things that could indicate that I'm vulnerable. So we've got a flashing doorbell here, which would indicate that I struggle with my hearing. So to support those customers, we have lots of different channels, and things like web chat have proved really, really helpful for customers who suffer with hearing, because they can have a live conversation through a medium that's really easy for them. We're also developing some videos that we're going to be putting on our website using sign language, again, as a different way of communicating with customers where verbal communication is quite challenging. So we've got some medicine bottles over here, which obviously would indicate there's some medical problem. Now, it could be a temporary medical problem. It could be painkillers associated with some crutches, which obviously then means that I'm going to struggle to get out, and my mobility is constrained, and that might just be for a short period of time. And what we're looking to do is to be able to just flag those customers for that period of time, which would then mean that if I'm without water, I will need then some bottled water actually delivering to my house, because I'm going to struggle to get to one of your drop-off points. Or if you knock on the door, I actually need a little bit more time to get to the door before I can open it. We'll choose one more. So we've got a dictionary here, which would obviously indicate that English is not my first language. And you might think, well, why is that then somebody who's vulnerable? Well, for key messages, that actually might become a disadvantage. So, we have a language line, we can get any translations, but also for really important notices, so say for a water quality notice, you're telling me that I need to boil my water before I drink it, that actually we're using pictures, we're using big ticks and crosses just to make it really clear what the key message is for customers. So we currently have 40,000 customers on our priority service register, which might seem quite impressive, but our ambition is obviously to be much better than that. So we've been working with a number of organisations, charities like St John's Ambulance, the Coventry Deaf Society, Guide Dogs for the Blind, who've been helping us build and design what that service offering looks like to make sure that we tailor the right things to the right people. We've also been working with the energy industry, and we were going to look to data share. So we're going to share our priority service register. They will share theirs, which means that as a customer, you only have to register once. We've also agreed some common language classifications. So again, just to make it as easy and accessible for customers to be able to deal with utilities. So we've got 40,000 now. We expect through all this proactive work that will increase to about 400,000 over the next AMP, which sounds a huge number and is absolutely brilliant from a vulnerable customer's point of view, because it means that I'm getting the right support at the right time. As an organisation, you might think, well, how are you going to cope with that? But actually, it is a good news, because by us having visibility, we can then support customers in a much more planned and therefore efficient way. So that just gives you a little bit of insight into what we think is a really key part of our plan and helps really build trust within our customers and our communities. So thank you. So I think you are now going to the study.
Hi everybody, it's Steve and I'm beaming in all the way here from sunny Mansfield. I'd like to welcome you to my study. This is where I tell Mrs. B that I'm doing lots of work, when really what I'm doing is trying to get a bit of peace and quiet away from the kids and watch a bit of sneaky football if I get a chance. Over the next few minutes, me and a few friends are going to talk to you about the two new customer experience measures, DMEX and CMEX. So keep your eyes peeled and look around my study. Oi, you, yes you, over there in the blue. I can see you even though I'm not in the room, so keep your eyes peeled.
So hello from sunny Cyprus. This feels a little bit like Eurovision, but my name's Heather, and even though I'm sunning myself in the med, I still wanted to tell you about the new customer experience measure, and it's going to be absolutely fab. So we have Sims Day, and we've been running that for the past few years. We've had mixed results, to be fair. It's all very much based on customer contact survey and complaints. The new measure, CMEX, it's going to be called Customer Measure of Experience, is all about customer perceptions more broadly, as well as those who contact us. So this will be different in the fact that the customer contact survey will be very much around broader channels, including social media, and it will be over a wider range of weeks, not just the one sim week we get measured on today. The second half of the survey is very much around customer perceptions. So no matter whether you've contacted us, not for the last 10 years, you'll still be able to have your say.
And that's why, hey, you, come over here. It's Andrew talking. That's why we've developed our new brand, Wonderful on Tap. And we've delivered our first outdoor and TV campaign this year. And also, over the summer, we've had ITV in filming us. And let me tell you a secret. Come a little closer. It's going to be a lovely, lovely programme. It showcases all the fantastic things that we Severn Trenters do. So the new CMEX survey covers absolutely everything that we do for the customer and how they perceive us as a company and as a brand. That might be the service that they get when they phone us up. It might be how they feel about things when we've been out to clear a sewer blockage for them. Could be the bill they receive. It might be the water that comes out their tap or something they read in the press. So it's really, really important that we help them to understand all the things that we do to get wonderful water to their homes. We're really proud of our TV campaign, and it's really helped customers to understand the role that water plays in their lives. So please relax and enjoy 40 seconds of heartwarming TV.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities of Mother Nature's recipes brings the bare necessities of life. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. They'll come to you.
Water is wonderful.
They'll come to you.
Let's look after it. Visit wonderfulontap.co.uk for help saving water at home.
Oh, hi, it's me again. I really love that ad. I think it's absolutely fantastic to see us on the telly talking about how important water is to us all. Right then, let's get cracking and on to my bit. I'm Steve Bettridge and I head our developer services world. It's not just domestic customers that Severn Trent deal with, we also connect around 20,000 new properties every year to our network, and to do that we engage with developers. Whether we're dealing with single developers that are doing it for the first time on one single property, through to major developers that are doing around 200 properties on a site, right the way through to a farmer that's connecting a trough supply, we need to make sure that their experience is as good as possible as they go through that process. Now, for the past few years, water companies have been measuring voluntarily their performance and making sure they can compare themselves to improve the service that they provide to customers. When we first started measuring that, Severn Trent were pretty poor at this, and we were around about bottom of the league, a little bit like Notts County are currently in the Football League. However, we've really worked hard in developer services in Severn Trent to improve and up our game, and last year we managed to get first in water and second in waste, which is absolutely outstanding and a really great performance, and it was great to be able to deliver that. As well as that, our customers are seeing the importance of our performance improvements, and we actually reduced by a massive 30% the number of complaints we had, so our customers are feeling happy as well about what we're doing. We're now really good at what we do, and we're actually starting to see that in terms of how the customers think of us. But don't take my word for it, listen to a customer yourself.
I'm Matt Reynolds. I work for Bellway Home South Midlands. My role is senior engineer. Deal with Severn Trent principally with the wastewater side, but also the mains water. And by and large, I'm finding them very easy to deal with. Seems to be getting easier as well.
We consider the Severn Trent Water dedicated self-lay team at the top of their field for water companies in England and Wales.
So we recognised that there was different types of customers in the developer community, and we spotted that early on and reorganised our business around that customer. That enables us to actually understand what different customers need and make sure we deliver the service that's important to them. This has really helped us and given us a head start as we start to shape and influence the new customer service measure for AMP7. That measure is called DMEX.
So come on, Steve, is DMEX the same as CMEX?
So DMEX is a little bit like CMEX in that it measures two things. It measures quantitative performance, so how well do you do things in a timely manner, as well as qualitative performance, so how does a customer feel as they go through the process working with Severn Trent or the water company. We've known about this for some time, and we've been able to influence and shape the way that the surveys are undertaken, and that means that actually it's organised around the businesses and how we've segregated our customer types. This really gives us a great start and means that we're ahead of our plan in shaping how we're going to make sure that we're top of the pile when DMEX is launched. So it's an exciting time. The exciting thing about DMEX is that when it actually gets going, it's got pounds, shillings and pence associated to it, which is really exciting as we move forward.
So Steve, that sounds fab. We've got pounds associated with it, not just reputational this time.
So like with all the other ODIs, there's a reward penalty process within DMEX. Therefore, based around your performance, you can get a percentage swing and earn financial recognition for good performance. So it's a really exciting time, and developer services is an area that we can really be proud of as we really push into AMP7, looking to be a frontier company.
Well done, you.
So you've now heard all about CMEX and DMEX, and the great news is we've got a real opportunity to really delight our customers. We want to be in the top 25% of the industry, and to do this we really need to deliver that great customer experience, which includes delivering the basics right, getting things right first time, turning up when we say we will, answering the phone in that great personal manner, so we really delight our customers.
I hope everybody's found that session really interesting here. We've learned lots about our new two customer experience measures in CMEX and DMEX, ready to go live in AMP7. Now I need you all to clear off out my study because I've got some football to watch with the mighty Notts County taking on Mansfield in an epic battle. On your way out, please don't tell Mrs B that I'm watching football because she thinks I've got some really important work to do, and otherwise I'll end up looking after them pesky kids.